Hey, how's it going everyone? This is Brennan Bias from CheckCheck.com and welcome to another Tutorial Tuesday. Now today we're not going to be going over any really fancy effects or anything of that sort. What we're actually doing is going over a action pack that I'll be releasing here with this tutorial, and it is a Vignettes action pack. Now, the reason I made this is, well, there actually isn't a reason I made this other than the fact that I really like vignettes. Now, if you don't know what a vignette is, it's basically just a shadow that goes around the edges of the picture due to either something that's wrong with the lens, or maybe the camera that you're using has a lens hood on it, or something of the sort. But more recent cameras have basically solved that problem, quote unquote. But people still like adding vignettes in post-production because it adds a bit of focus to the overall picture. Now, for an example of a standard vignette, we'll go to this vignette that I have here in the action pack. So once you download it, you just put it into your vignettes folder. You know what, let's go over that right now that I think about it. So let's see, we'll go to our install directory. Wow, that was a pronunciation fail. Holy F. So anyway, go to your install directory in your program files, and we'll go to Adobe, and we'll do Photoshop CS6, and I have it on 64-bit right here. And then if you go to the presets folder, there is an actions folder where you will click and drag the vignettes action pack. You don't see it here because I think it saved it to another default folder somewhere else, so I'll have to find it and give it to you. But you basically just drag and drop this this ATN file right here with all these others, and you should see it right here in Photoshop in the Actions panel, which you can bring up by going to Window, Actions, if you don't already have it there. Alright, so once you've got that in there, you can just click this little drop down arrow next to the vignettes folder, and voila, you have your actions there, and you can select one and click the play button to apply it. So this is your standard vignette right here. So I'll just toggle this on and off so you can get an idea of how this looks and how it's supposed to work. So essentially this just darkens up the edges, so that way it leaves the center of the picture a little bit lighter, and that in itself helps bring focus to it because, well, let's face it, when things are a lot brighter, then you tend to look at them a little bit more. So that's the overall purpose of a vignette. Now, if you're really wanting to get creative with things, you might not want just an ordinary black shade of black for your vignette. You might want to make things a little bit more interesting. So that's why I came up with these 10 extra vignettes to maybe spice up your picture a little bit. So I'm just going to really quick go through these as a quick little demonstration so you can see how they look. So first one up is Inferno. So we'll click play and apply that, and you see that Inferno is this really intense dark shade of red and maybe a little orange in there. And it's aptly named Inferno because it's so intense and it's just adding so much of a vignette to the edges of this photo. So that one right there is a really intense one. So next up we'll go to Shallow Red. It's more like the original standard vignette, but instead of adding black to the edges, it actually has a little bit of a dark red hue to it. So it's very subtle, but it's still there. Alright, so next up we'll go to Orangish. It's kind of the same concept as the Shallow Red, but this time around it adds a orange hue rather than a red. So pretty straightforward. Now Golden is a little bit different. Rather than darkening up the edges, it actually adds a color dodge to them with a yellow golden hue. So a little before and after, and you can see what this does to the overall look of the picture. So I just thought that was kind of interesting, so what the heck, I'll throw it in there. Alright, so next up is Nature. Now, obviously, Nature is going to be a nice green color. So you can just see how that looks right there. So before and after adds a nice, not too intense shade of green to the edges of the picture there. Now, Coolant is kind of like Golden in that it brightens the edges rather than darkening them. But this time around, it uses a light shade of blue. So again, we'll do a little before and after, and you can see what's going on. But with this particular picture, it's a little too intense in certain areas, so you can always put down the fill on that so that it's not quite so intense. So at 100% and at 60%, you can see a pretty big difference between the two opacities there. Alright, so next up we'll go to Deep Sea. As you can imagine, that's going to be a really dark shade of blue. So I thought that this one's actually really nice in terms of what shade of blue it is and how much it's applied to the effects, or to the picture I should say. And so yeah, you can add this to like some sort of like, whatchamacallit, deep sea diving photo or something of the sort. I don't know. It's really up to you what you do with these. I just made them just for the sake of having them in this pack, rather than only having the one vignette. Okay, so next up we have Retro. Now, Retro by itself is kind of subtle, but it adds a purple hue to the corners, but going in, it adds a little bit of blue. Now, it's a little hard to see in this version of the Retro one, so I went ahead and added in a Super Retro to really make an intense look. And this one is also set to color dodge as well, so you can really see what's going on here. So again, a before and after, you can really see those shades of purple, and more towards the middle you can start to see those shades of light blue that are being added to it. So Super Retro is kind of fun to play with. And last but not least, we have Snow Bright, which is basically the exact opposite of the standard vignette. So if you click play, you'll see that it just adds a nice shade of white to the edges. Now, I have this set to an opacity of 50%, but if you want to increase that, you know, feel free. I don't know why I did opacity rather than fill, because, I don't know, I think it acts a little bit differently, but whatever, no big deal. So that's all there is to it. So as you can see, we've got a total of 11 action packs in this 100% free pack of vignettes. I said that a little bit wrong, but whatever, ignore it. So there you go, you've got a quick little demonstration of all of the vignettes in this vignette action pack. So if you want to download that, please just go to the link in the description to figure out where you can download that. And also, if you could do me a quick favor and like this video simply for the sake of supporting the fact that I'm giving you guys an action pack, you know, for free and all that. And if you happen to download it and use it, let me know how you like it by leaving a comment in the comment section below, and maybe give me some ideas of what I can do to fix it up or anything like that. And that way I can just go back and update it and make it a little bit more user-friendly. So, yep, that's all I have for today's tutorial, or rather demonstration. So, again, like the video, comment, or any combination of the two, and let me know what you think, and I will see you guys next Tuesday.